Welcome, I'm Hank Giesecke. Welcome to Patriot Network TV. We're excited today to have Fred Koster with us. He's the maker of Ride the Thunder, and it's just been an awesome movie, some message that we certainly have long overdue needed. And so welcome, Fred. Good to have you here.
Well, thanks for inviting me. I appreciate
Tell us a little
that.
bit about the movie and how it came about and kind of the overall message and theme that you're doing.
Well, you know, the Vietnam War era was a turning point for America.
Right.
And it wasn't a good turning point, it was a bad one. And a lot of the problems that we have today, its roots are in the Vietnam War era. I mean, that's where John Kerry, a lot of these people came from, and the mentality that they have.
Yeah.
And this movie is bringing the truth of the Vietnam War to the American public. To me, and this is my opinion, the Vietnam War is one of the greatest lies in American history.
Yeah.
It dishonored our servicemen who fought very, very well in the field, and also it dishonored the Vietnamese people.
Yeah.
The Vietnamese people did fight for their country. They did fight for their freedom.
Yeah.
But the media misconstrued everything, and also the big thing with the Vietnam War era, that was when opportunists figured out that they could lie to the media and not be questioned.
Not be questioned.
They can say whatever lies they are.
Yeah.
The movie is based on this 600-page book by Richard Bachkin, and it's an outstanding book, very detailed. So the movie itself was adapted. And what I think what we wanted to do with the movie was not only to bring the truth of the war, so by the end of the movie, you will be more educated about the Vietnam War.
Okay.
And that was our number one goal. But we wanted to do it so it's entertaining. So what we do is we have this wonderful storyline that's true.
Right.
And as you're watching it and following the characters and hopefully rooting for them, you're also learning about Vietnam and the truth of the war.
Yes. Well, and you made a good point too, is that a lot of the left-wing media kept trying to tell us we were fighting the Vietnamese. We were not. We were fighting the communists. So just speak to that a little bit, because that's a huge issue.
The media has so misconstrued everything, but during the Vietnam War, I believe the media convinced the majority of America to think that we were fighting against the Vietnamese. We weren't. We were fighting with them against the spread of communism.
Yeah.
Because the communists took over the northern half of Vietnam in 1954.
Okay.
And then they came in and they slaughtered up to 500,000 people there. And then, like all the communist countries, they lock it off. They seal the border.
Yeah.
1 million people fled North Vietnam.
Okay.
And more would have fled. But the communists, just like in Eastern Europe, just like in Soviet Union, just like in China, they close their borders so nobody else can escape.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting to see that this is part of that bigger picture, because when you look at where all the death basically in the 20th century has occurred, it's in communist countries.
Yes.
You know, communist China, communist Russia, on and on. So like you say, it's just a pattern that we need people to understand in terms of how communism works.
Yeah, talk to any Vietnamese living in America. Let them tell you.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I think, too, one of the things that we want to wrestle with is there's a bigger picture here. Like you say, we have this ongoing fight against a whole different worldview, and it hasn't stopped. I mean, I don't know that we won that. We really haven't won a war since World War II, but at least we need to be aware that this battle continues. I mean, we have, as we well know, we were talking about that, socialists and communists in this country that are continuing the battle, not in the same form. So I think there's a bigger message coming out of the movie too, which is excellent.
Yeah, I think the movie is very symbolic in the sense that in the movie we have one of our heroes goes to re-education camp, which that has never been in the movies before. The Vietnamese re-education camps were up to 1 million people were in these camps.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
My daughter's history book has a chapter on Vietnam. Okay?
Wow.
Nothing about re-education camps. Nothing about the boat people. 250,000 people died in the ocean escaping communism.
Really?
Think about that.
Yeah.
And it's not in the history books.
Yeah.
The history books, our guys are the bad guys. The communists are the good guys. Ho Chi Minh is the father of Vietnam. The last sentence in my girl's history book was in 1975, Vietnam was finally united as a country.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
it's, I mean, who wrote that thing?
Sure. Well, and what's worrisome, of course, you think, does history repeat itself? I mean, we have talk in this country of, do we have re-education camps that just haven't been occupied yet? And so, like you say,
Yes.
you're foretelling probably this pattern that goes on in this thing. So it's a really one of those things people need to think about, the big picture of what you so greatly did in the movie.
Yes.
Same thing can happen to people. And so I think it's one of those kind of wake-up call movies. I think it's excellent in the sense that we go back and we find out what's really history, because your point's well taken.
Yes.
We don't teach history anymore, or correct history at least. And we used to laugh at Russia because they rewrite their history. Guess what we're doing?
Right.
So now is there kind of a next project? Because this is exciting to see this kind of continuing on in terms of where we go with this.
Oh yeah, I think right now, my opinion is America, all of us. I mean, we need to wake up, draw a line in the sand, and say no more. Because right now, America is in the fight for her life, and we're in it. And like you had mentioned before, one day with our grandkids, they're going to ask us, "Why didn't you do anything?"
Yeah,
and then we're going to have to explain that. But this movie is very symbolic, and it shows the communists as the ruling class and the prisoners as the average everyday people in their country living. And right now, we played in 8 cities already. And we've done really well. We beat almost all the big
Really?
Hollywood movies. I mean,
Right on.
like Tomorrowland, that was a $180 million movie. Every theater we played at, we beat them.
Wow.
So yeah, we've done quite well. Very, very receptive.
Yeah.
And also our movie is played for a long time in each theaters. Up to 4 weeks at some.
Yeah, I know here in our area it's been playing for quite a while.
Yeah, played for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And so now our next project, getting to your question here, what we want to do is next year we'll have a multi-part TV series.
Okay.
That will go much more in depth. It'll be one of those 12-hour series.
Yeah.
But the big thing is the Vietnam War matters for today because the root of our problems in America go back to the Vietnam era. And that's when the media, it became a fad to hate America.
Right.
Rather than to love America.
Yes. Well, and I want to end on your point that the guards were a ruling class, and that's unfortunately what we have nowadays. We have career politicians, the media, all in cahoots against basically we the people. So I mean, the movie has so many different aspects to it. It's exciting to see. So, well, listen, it's great to have you here, and we look forward to doing more with this. And I hope it just continues on, and more people see it because they need to see it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Also, if you can, I mention one thing. Please go to ridethethundermovie.com, and that will give you a complete update where we're at. Again, that's ridethethundermovie.com.
Okay. Thank you, Fred.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching, and join us next time. Thank you very much.